I feel like we kind of like we're like a generation apart, but same kind of ideas. Back in the day, like especially like being in America, jiu-jitsu was so small back when started on the mat in 1996. We had the first downloadable jiu-jitsu videos on the internet. 120 by 124 pixels. You had to wait all night for it to download on there. And I just wanted to get content and, like taught myself how to edit in Final Cut Pro and Gumby, my, my business partner in that, like he worked at IX Micro. They were working on video compression. So he would spend all day compressing jiu-jitsu videos for our website. My brother Cade, he's a black belt under Eddie Bravo. He had worked at a server company. So we had free bandwidth and it just like all came together. But people got so mad that I was jumping around from school to school, training, going to different tournaments, featuring people, from all different teams everywhere. It was like, man, you can't do this, bro. You cannot do this, like, bro. It's just like, and I would always get in these arguments about like, hey man, the more the sport grows, the better it gets for you, and there seems to have always been since, jiu-jitsu came to the US kind of a scarcity mentality, and
absolutely.
It's like, this is one of the most amazing sports there is. Like, you think you can't get more students? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, come on, the more people are like, I remember when we hit like 1 million visitors on the mat and I was just like, holy shit's changing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was like in a month, right? Now guys are getting like 1 million views on one YouTube video, and it's just like, so hopefully some of those people that used to want to beat me up and throw me out of their academies realize there's plenty of people that want to train jiu-jitsu.
Oh yeah, just like I was telling you before the podcast, it's like a trip because we are a little generation apart, but it was like I followed that same path. Like early 2000, I'm on OnTheMat.com researching where to go in Brazil for my training, and living down there for a year. And it's like, even though there's that gap, it was still in that early 2000s. It was like not only a superpower, but everyone was like secretive. There wasn't access to the kind of game, so there still was that Crianchi vibe, especially in the United States, because all the main schools were led by a Brazilian that had relocated, and come over. And now it's so interesting to see, like, it's completely erased because of the access to information. There's no secret moves. Like, you want to learn something, you just go online and you can find it. Like, and we're seeing that now, just being an international school, B team. It's like, I'll give a shout out to my boy Joseph Chen. Like, this kid in China training 4 years off of legally ripped off downloads. And he's coming into our room and hanging with all the pros.
Wow.
Goes to ADCC, like a high level competitor. And like, was with him in Thailand. We went out there for the camp with Craig. He's so good. 6 months later, he's here in Austin and he's even better. And you're just like, it's not fair, man. I'm like 43. I'm like, look at this kid. He's like, hasn't turned 19 yet. And he's highlight reeling me. Like, like, it's just crazy. Like, with the access to information now, it's just so different. I just have to say, like, you're like a trailblazer in that. You're like the first one, like legit to put it out
Gumby and I
there.
were the first ones. And I would have people. So when I was lived in Brazil 3 years, when I was living down there, I would go to all the little tournaments because they would let me film. And then I put together the highlight videos, Dengue Fever, and all posted up on the internet. And, I literally had jiu-jitsu guys show up my house demanding me to take down, but even if they won the match, they didn't want anyone to see what they were doing, So wild. And I had a crazy story. Once I was at Top Team and I showed up with Oswaldo Paquetá, who was like the video guy that made all the old videos back in the day in Brazil, in Rio. He was Carlson's best friend. And Margarita wanted me thrown out of the academy because I had posted some of his stuff. And he was upset later because I didn't even actually make this video. Kenny Florian did. It was called the Margarita Remix.
Oh, yeah.
And
I know this
like
video.
You know this video, man.
Yeah.
And so,
see his hips, man. No one had to
started with Mark Lehman. He did his remixes. And then Kenny was a big fan of Margarita, similar game. And he thought that I had made that video and he just wanted to kill me, you know what I mean, and everything. And it's just, it's just like the mentality, you know what I mean, was like so now you got guys like putting every move they do out on online daily, you know what I mean. No one's trying to hide anything, and it's okay to go train here and there.